We all have a psychological blind spot. When we run into an obstacle, our first instinct is usually to take the exact same action we just took, only harder. You see this in airports all the time. Someone asks a question in English, the listener doesn't understand the language, so the speaker just repeats the exact phrase, only louder, as if sheer volume translates vocabulary. The same thing happens in high-stakes environments. Picture a boardroom negotiation. The client pushes back, so the presenter doubles down on the exact same slide deck, the exact same data points, and the exact same aggressive tone. Pushing a stalled strategy doesn't bypass resistance. It guarantees the entire interaction will break down. Neuro-linguistic programming, a framework that studies how we use language to organize our experience and influence behavior, offers a direct diagnosis for this breakdown. The solution is outlined in the sixth pillar of NLP, flexibility. This is the structural antidote to getting trapped in a rigid behavioral loop. This diagram maps a core NLP rule. The meaning of your communication is the response you get. If a node sends a message and a negative error bounces back, the responsibility lies entirely with the sender. Once that red feedback loop hits, your current input has failed. Repeating it won't fix the connection. You need an entirely new input. Persisting with a broken method isn't a sign of dedication. It is an active decision to ignore the data right in front of you. To see how this works under pressure, look at an environment completely immune to logic, trying to get a toddler to put on their shoes. The rigid approach is highly predictable. You issue a command, the child ignores it. You raise your voice, and the child starts crying. Let's rewind that interaction. We keep the exact same objective, shoes on feet, but we completely abandon the initial strategy. Instead of getting louder, we execute a rapid behavioral pivot. We try a whisper. We test if dropping our volume causes the child to lean in out of curiosity. If the whisper fails, we pivot again. We alter our posture by dropping to the floor, grabbing the shoe, and turning it into a talking puppet. The child laughs and puts it on. Reaching the objective didn't require forcing the toddler to accept adult logic. It required the adult to rapidly adapt to the toddler's reality. That domestic pivot reveals a deeper mechanical rule governing human interaction. Flexibility requires you to intentionally generate multiple distinct behaviors to solve one specific problem. This animation models that systemic law. The entity with the highest number of choices and branching pathways controls the system. Look at the rigid communicator. When you rely on a single, inflexible line of attack, the moment you hit unexpected friction, the strategy shatters. You have to surrender your emotional attachment to a specific method in order to secure your actual objective. We can now apply this framework back to the failing boardroom negotiation from earlier. We reach the exact moment of failure. The client pushes back, but this time we actively watch the feedback closely. The eyes dart away and the shoulders stiffen defensively. Recognizing the negative signal, we pivot immediately. We close the slide deck, we lean back, lower our voice, and ask a genuine, open-ended question to figure out what the client actually values. By reading the room and instantly modifying the behavioral input, the defensive tension dissolves and the negotiation stays alive. Our natural instinct is to write a script for how an interaction should go and demand that the rest of the world play along. But influence does not come from delivering an unbreakable monologue that bulldozes the listener. It requires the emotional discipline to look at a failure in real time, swallow your ego, and ask yourself what else you can try. Because in any system, having a choice is always better than not having a choice. The most adaptable mind in the room always wins.